2013 Audi A4. So this is a B8.5 car. If you have found this video, you have likely been through the entire gamut of dealing with one headlight bulb out. Let me guess, you've swapped the bulbs back and forth, verified okay. You've swapped the ballast back and forth, verified okay. You replaced ballast just to be safe, verified okay. And you've checked all the fuses. Fuses 6 and 7 on the driver's side fuse panel in the first block have to do with headlights. Both of those are good to go. And you're still having issues. Well, I think I have a fix. Brief history on this thing. The headlight bulb on the driver's side started being intermittent, and then one day it just went out. Did all the experimentation with swapping bulbs and ballast. The problem did not follow to the passenger side. I found a forum, audizine.com. A guy had the exact same symptoms as I did, or as I do, and his fix was he discovered the power connector that goes into the ballast. The pins had evidence of getting hot, and so the plastic around where the pins are was melted. Well, through my experimentation, I actually found the exact same thing. Mine looks just like his in his pictures. His fix was to take a metal pick and bend the pins in a way that forced the ballast male pins to have better contact with those female pins. And you know what? It worked for about a week. And all of a sudden, the headlight completely stopped working all over again. I went back into the headlight, flexed on those pins again, and it did not make a difference. And so today's going to be kind of an experiment, and I don't actually know if it's going to work, but we'll see. So let's get to it. All right, so first let me show you what my potential fix is. Here's a little kit I put together. This is the power connector pigtail that supplies power to the headlight. You see how pretty these are. These are not fatigued in any way. These were snipped off of a car. I found this on eBay for about $15. These are impossible to find. I got totally lucky when I found this one. You can get Chinese HID kits that come with the entire pigtail, but you also have to buy the headlight and the ballast, and you're paying more money than you need to. So my plan is to snip the melted one out of the headlight, and I'm going to use these butt connectors and sort of splice in to the wires on the headlight in place of where this connector is in the headlight. Again, I'm going to snip the one in the car, and then I'm going to heat shrink the entire thing for waterproofing, even though the entire assembly lays behind the gasket. So that's going to be our attempted fix, basically replacing this pigtail altogether with a good one that has never experienced heat issues. And by the way, I have no explanation in my situation or as to that one fella situation in the forum as to why these things got hot in the first place. I imagine just general bad contact. Anytime you have partial contact with electronics, they generate heat, and over time, I guess that all just melted away. Or not away, but just, you'll see. We'll look at it here in a minute. So one of the most common reasons I've read on the Audizine forums as to why guys put off headlight surgery of any kind is because they don't want to go through the trouble of removing the front bumper assembly. And I don't understand why guys think they have to do that, because I'm here to tell you that these headlights come right out. You simply have to remove 8 bolts. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And that sucker will pull right out. Now this guy right here is some sort of elevation adjuster. And so I hold the spinning part with my finger while I remove that bolt. And it's a very long bolt. It has to come all the way up so you can pull it out. So let's get this headlight out. All right, look, so a word of caution about removing all these 8 bolts. Some of them are obvious as to where they go. However, all of these guys here are all different sizes. And so what I do is I remove them. I set them in the exact orientation that they go into the car up here on this cowl. I've been doing it that way every time I experiment with this thing, and it's worked out fine every time. Now these that are at the base down here on these legs are obvious. And what I mean is they're the only two that are like this. So orienting those in their installation pattern is not as important. Up top. And if I hadn't mentioned already, all of these are a T30. Lay it in the same orientation that you take it out. It makes it a whole lot easier. Now look, this bracket just pulls out. Get it out of your way. Now to the weird little elevation one. Just take your finger and hold it in place. Apply some pressure. There's that guy. It's the only one like this, so you can't screw that one up. And by the way, the reason why that one has to come out is because the head of that bolt will not clear the core support when you go to remove the headlight. I've tried every which way of wiggling it. It's impossible. So you have to just pull that sucker out of there, man. Disconnect our headlight. Like so. Kind of get that out of your way. Now, as you pull this headlight out, be advised that there's a drain tube. It's a little rubber tube that is attached to a stem down here. You grab it and pull it off. Real easy. Be careful you don't scratch your lens. So be mindful where my thumb is. Be mindful of the corner of that fender so you don't make contact. Kind of just wiggle, lift up, and she comes right out, guys. Yeah, let's perform some surgery. See how this goes. Now here's a good look at the mounting location. This is the rubber tube that I was telling you about. It's a drain tube, goes onto a stem. It's harder to actually get it on when you put the headlight back in than it is to take it off, but you're just fishing your fingers back here while you remove the headlight, and you grab it with your middle finger and just give it a tug, and it'll pop right off. All right, so I have a couple of t-shirts here to avoid any kind of scratching of the lens. All right, so LED strip ballast, HID bulb ballast. These little screws are a T15. Just do these by hand. And this puppy just kind of pops right out. It has a rubber gasket that sometimes we'll want to stick. Just slide it back up there. All right, so taking a closer look at this, and we'll remove the headlight cover so you can see better. You have the main power for the ballast. It's a little squeeze clip. You can squeeze and pull. And then this is what powers the headlight bulb from the ballast. So this braided line, the other end of it is down here, plugged into the bulb. And so this braided line is just kind of routed. It's not hooked to anything else. It's just routed and tucked in there, and it runs directly from the ballast to the bulb. This guy, pinch and pull. All right. All right, so for comparison's sake, I want you guys to look at the connector inside the housing. This is the one that's on the car now. You can clearly see the issue here. So it's a 2-pin connector. You can see how there's indications of heat. See the evidence of all the heat? Now compare side by side. Here's our new to us pigtail that we're going to swap in. Look at the difference there. even the plastic where it's melted has wallered out. Look at the pins themselves. The pins on the known good one are nice and flat and tight, whereas these have actually opened up a bit. Again, presumably from heat expansion. And so the male pins are going in there and they're just too loose. They're not making contact anymore. So hopefully this is going to ultimately be our fix, and we'll know soon enough. Now, in order to enhance this repair, we're going to use Deoxit. This is a multi-purpose electronics connector deoxifier. It also promotes conductivity. Unlike dielectric grease, which does not promote conductivity, this stuff does. So it improves contact, it removes and prevents oxidation, it waterproofs it. It's like dielectric grease on steroids, really. And so we're going to squirt some of this into that connector and just try and make all the difference we can for the future, under the presumption that for whatever reason this guy's going to get hot all over again. So we're going to make as much room for ourselves as we can by removing the bulb. And we're going to fish this guy down and out of here. There. And so this ought to give us enough slack and clearance to make our repair. Now, one thing I don't know is whether or not polarity matters here, right? So I'm right-handed, and so I'm telling myself right now that the wire I mark with yellow goes in the right-handed pin, just to be safe. All right, let's go ahead and prep our pigtail. Oops. All right. Get the other one. There we go. That guy's in there. Alright, so pigtail is prepped. And now, there is no going back. Slide our heat shrink on. Other heat shrink. Well, prep this guy first. There we go. Now just heat shrink it down. There we go, boys. Let's hope it freaking works, huh? All right, so now we'll just weave this guy up and through. Like so. Reinsert our bulb. Plug her back in. And now we're ready to go. Put that ballast back in. And since this repair added a lot of length, it'll be a lot easier to plug this guy back in. Let's also not forget about our deoxit. Gotta snip the little tip off here. Make a huge mess doing it. Put a few dots of it down in there. I don't know if there's a such thing as overkill with this stuff. I would imagine not. We'll also go ahead and apply some to the ballast. Like so. Hook that guy in. Hook in our repair. Press the ballast back into place. Gasket is in place. And she is as waterproof as it gets. There we go, folks. Our hopeful repair is complete. Let's see if it works. By the way, don't ever drop these things. They're $1,700 brand new. Kid you not. All right, and so what we're gonna do is just kind of mock the headlight into place. And we're just going to verify whether or not our repair worked. Of course, don't forget to plug the headlight back in, give it power. Like so. Let's see. Power to the car. Headlights on. There we go. Repair worked. Fantastic. That's so exciting. So exciting. Awesome. All right, guys. There you go. An unknown adventure. Just figuring it out as we go. You guys saw the repair firsthand. There you go. Somehow get you a new pigtail off eBay. Splice that sucker in there. And there you go. All that's left to do is re-secure the headlight in the reverse order you took all the bolts out. Actually, it doesn't really matter. Just be sure you put them all back where they go. Remember, always lay them out in the orientation that they go into the car so you don't screw it up. Makes it a lot easier. But yeah, guys. So that repair worked. Heck, let's try one more time. What do you say? Here, come with me. On auto, let's go on. Look at that. Super exciting, man. I love it when a repair works. Love it when a repair works. All right, so I guess the real test is longevity. There is absolutely no reason why that shouldn't be a permanent fix. But if for some reason it craps out again, I will be sure and let you guys know. And hey, if you have any questions as to how this went down, it's pretty straightforward. Just drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think. As always, guys, this has been me, and that's been you. It's Half Click Up. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Goodbye.